welcome back. And if you joined us late today, my special guest here with me is Nicci Hughes, and she is the sous chef at Roost restaurant in downtown Greenville on Main Street. And I asked her what a sous chef is. It means you're second in command.
That's correct. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Well, you're in command here. What
Oh,
are you
thank you.
doing now?
So what I'm going to do now is we're going to make the toppings for our tacos.
Oh, boy.
So the great thing about this is I'm going to start with the Pico De Gallo, and I've already kind of chopped up everything for you all just for time purposes. So you take about 2 cups of tomatoes and you want to dice them.
And they're diced quite fine, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's what we would consider in the cooking world a small dice is what it
Okay.
is. But if you're at home, you don't have to make it perfect.
It doesn't have to be
it's
quite
just
that
for the
small.
flavor.
Okay.
That's correct. So I have about 2 cups of tomatoes. This is about a cup of red onions diced as well. You want to make sure you peel it, get all that nice, get all the nice skins off of there. And then we have about 2 ounces of jalapeno, also just 1 small jalapeno. You want to seed it, and you just small dice that again, or
Okay.
just chop it up however you prefer. This one I would suggest to go a little smaller because you don't want to bite into a big hunk of jalapeno.
I wouldn't think so.
It'll get you
No.
a little bit. So with that, I also have, this is minced cilantro. This is about 2 ounces. So when it comes to cilantro, some people do not like it as much as me. I love cilantro. So you can kind of gauge this according to the recipe when you make it. If you decide maybe I'll try 1 ounce to start. So I like the heaviest cilantro though. So, and this I have is extra virgin olive oil. So
okay.
this pretty much just helps bind everything together. So we're just gonna start with just a little bit of that.
What is that, like 1/4 of a cup, maybe?
So
or-
yes, ma'am. So 2 ounces is 1/4 of a cup,
right.
and in the recipe, I actually used 1/4 of a cup just
Okay.
for easier
Okay.
for purposes like that. So what I have are some limes, 2 limes that we're gonna juice into this. I love the handy citrus juicer.
Good for
If
you.
you don't have one, it's a great thing to have. You can really get all of the juice out of
Makes
your
life easy,
It
doesn't
does, it does, and you don't have to get your hands all messy with the lime juice. So
you're using 2 limes.
I am. Limes are really good, and what it'll do is actually it's kind of like I'm making a dressing for the Pico De Gallo. So then all you're gonna do is you're just gonna mix it up, and we're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. This is in total. This will probably be about a little bit, probably about a teaspoon of each. And the reason I use a little bit more in this is because the tomato it'll be kind of bland without the salt and pepper in there.
right.
So you want to bring the flavors out. And that's something about salt that a lot of people don't really know, is salt actually makes you taste things better than it not having salt. Not overusing it, but just enough to where it brings out the flavor. So now that I have
that's so colorful and pretty, just the way it is.
and you can do, and again, this is very versatile. You can have it on steak. I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff with this.
You could use that on a lot of things.
Yes, ma'am, you can. Even for breakfast. I mean, you could put it on your eggs in the morning. It's something that I really enjoy, and I like to make it and
Now,
keep it at
let
home.
me ask you something. You're the expert. If you made this up, and you have could you put it in a jar and put it in the fridge and save it?
Yes, of course. Actually, what I'm doing right now.
You could use it. You'd mention eggs. If you had some left over, you could have eggs with it the next day, and it would be okay to save it.
It would be okay. About 3 days.
Okay,
Once
all
you
right.
get to 3 days, the tomatoes and
All
stuff
right.
will start kind of going a little translucent. So I like to do this because I'm going to make some guacamole for you all. Guacamole is delicious. It's really good for you, and I like to use pico in there because Pico De Gallo, because it makes it it cuts out the steps, and I'm binding these 2 delicious things together. Now, at home, I don't know that I would suggest for you to do it like this, but I like to take the pit out just like this. You just do it like that.
Okay. I don't think I would do that.
No,
Never.
and so I'll show you how I would do it at home if
You're
you're
the
not
expert.
comfortable with that. You can take it and just kind of cut around the pit.
Yeah.
And what you do is you just break it right apart like
Makes it-
that. Yes, ma'am. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that into this, and we're going to use about 1/4 of a cup of the pico. So just about,
That's
just
so
enough
colorful.
to kind of
That's what I
spread
love.
into
Look
it.
at that.
So So what's your favorite cuisine to eat, Miss Peggy?
Well, to tell you the truth, I like almost everything.
Yeah?
I love fruits and vegetables. That's,
Well-
and I like seafood.
Oh, yeah.
I don't eat a lot of red meat. I mean, it's just not one of my favorites.
Right. I eat it sometimes, but I definitely do a lot more fish and chicken. And, again, if we're talking about health, it's better for you to do that. So, and I'm just going to go in. I like to do it with my
good
hands.
cooks use their fingers.
Yep. I get to
Yeah.
play with my food.
Look at
You
that.
know, when you're a kid, they yell at you for playing with your food, and I get to play with mine. So we're just going to mix this up. I'm going to remove my gloves.
It's a bit messy, but
It is, but it's worth it. Messy means delicious.
now what do you do with that?
So I'm just kind of chopping it up a little bit just to make sure it's all incorporated. And this bowl was a little small, so I didn't want to lose all of our guacamole.
Okay.
So with this, a little salt and pepper, just a touch. Because once you add the avocados, it's going to bring down on that salt content. And again, I like to use salt and pepper just to increase my flavor. So I got my guacamole ready. We got our pico ready, Pico De Gallo. Now we're going to make a little cilantro crema.
All right.
So cilantro crema is a traditional Mexican dish, and it is used on their enchiladas. It's used on a lot of different stuff. So it's really, really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zest this lime. This is another great utensil to have, and if you have just a regular cheese grater, there's one of these on there. Most people don't know what that thing's for, and that's what it's for.
Oh.
So you just want to zest this lime.
Okay.
Just a little bit of zest, because lime zest can be really strong, so you don't want to necessarily do the whole thing unless you like a lot of lime. I like a lot of lime. So you just kind of knock that in there, and it's going to give you that very pretty color that you like so much too. Cut the lime in half. The reason I'm juicing the lime into here as well is because I want this sauce to be a little bit more thin, or a little thin, so that I can spread it. So this is going to go on your taco as well. And then again, remember what I said about the cilantro, how much I love it.
There she goes.
So there we are, cilantro.
Oh my, yeah. Ooh. Okay.
All right. Now this is another big one, cumin. Just a little bit of cumin. Okay, and we're gonna go and blend this up real quick. I'm gonna throw a little bit of salt and pepper in there.
All right.
All right, let's go blend it.
Okay. Now these recipes, of course, they're all very wholesome, good for you recipes that we're offering you today. And something you can do at home.
Is that too loud?
It's a wee bit noisy.
All right. Sorry about that.
We'll put up with the noise because we have a star chef here today. So
Thank you.
okay, now then, what do you do with that?
So I'm just gonna put this in a container.
It's
just
all
to
blended.
It is
now.
all blended.
Okay.
So what this is again, this is a sauce just to put on your tacos. So we'll go ahead and put that in there so you can look at it. And again, this is another really pretty one. That's my favorite thing about food is when you start adding stuff together, you just get like the rainbow in the pan, and I really enjoy that. So now that we have all this
All right,
stuff
now
together,
what are you going to do?
we are gonna create a little taco bar.
All right.
So you have your chicken here, and we're gonna go ahead and add some chicken to it. And I'm just gonna go in, okay? This is
Yeah, you have
gonna
to-
be warm for everybody else, but I'm okay, I promise. So we're just gonna put a little chicken on there, a little as in a lot, because this is good. This is very delicious, and so don't,
Yeah.
don't be scared to load it up. And the great thing about this is tacos aren't bad for you. It's not like you're eating a big old sandwich, because bread can kind of get a little heavy
Yeah.
after a while. So you want to go ahead and put your tacos over here. And generally at the restaurant or even at home, I like to set up a bar and just kind of let people do what they
Let
want.
people help
Yeah,
themselves.
so we'll put some of this guacamole on here. I brought some pepper jack cheese today too. I like a little spice, but not too much spice. But you're welcome to use any kind of cheese you like, whether that be cheddar cheese, You can use cotija cheese, which is a crumbly cheese from Mexico. So it just makes for a really good taco, and I like to add this stuff to it. So
You put some cheese on there. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's very pretty.
let me grab a spoon real quick.
And that's all you do to it. It's ready to serve.
It's ready to eat. And then we'll add some of this beautiful pico on there.
Okay.
And
What I love about it is that it's very colorful.
It's colorful and it's good for you. This is loaded with a lot of nutrients. Avocados have a lot of protein, and it's just really good for you. And you know, adding stuff, using chicken instead of beef on your tacos is a good substitution. You know, adding more vegetables is just nice, and avocados are
Want to
just.
hand me the plate here?
Oh yes, are you gonna eat
Let's
it?
see. This is so pretty.
Oh, I forgot the.
What? Oh. Okay.
There you are.
Now let me put this out here so we can get a good picture of it.
Good stuff. We'll go ahead and
There.
we can put
That's
the pico and stuff out there
Very
too if you'd
colorful.
like.
Okay. It's very colorful and pretty. And this kind of thing you could even do ahead of time, couldn't you? And have it all ready.
Yes, yes. So that's the great thing again about the pico and the guacamole and the chicken. You can do this all the night before, and the next day you come home.
Excuse me.
Throw it in the oven, and within 20 minutes the chicken will be nice and hot, and you just build your tacos.
Let me ask you something.
Yes, of course.
You're a star chef.
Yes.
Excuse me, I have to cough. What about career opportunities for young people in this field?
So this field is.
I mean, how did you get into this?
So I worked my first job was bussing tables at a little wing shop, and I worked in the front of the house, which is it's kind of restaurant slang for front of house, as a manager, server, bartender. So I worked in that for about 9 years, and I decided that I wanted to cook. I've always loved cooking. My mom taught me to cook when I was a kid, so I've always been in the kitchen. And I decided to go to culinary school, and I found my passion. And there's a huge calling for it right now. You know, it's a fun career, and that's my favorite part. Is I meet so many awesome people, and it's just fun. And I go home every day with fun stories to tell.
Well, you're doing something that's worthwhile. You're giving people a good nutrition, but you're also giving them sharing happiness with people.
Right, right.
You know.
And you know, there's one of the best ways to make a person happy is with food, especially if it's yummy. So that was one of the things that I really enjoyed. And there's a huge calling for chefs right now. So it's definitely a great career to go into.
All right, now, Nicci, today you chose to do Mexican food.
That's correct.
But you do all kinds of food, don't you?
Yes, we do. At Roost, we like to focus on taking traditional dishes and putting a twist on it, and sometimes bringing international dishes in. We like to focus on vegan food and vegetarian. Right now, there's a big trend with gluten-free, vegan, and vegetarian. And so as a restaurant, we like to focus on that and make sure that we can accommodate all dietary needs.
You try to give people what they want.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am. And that's how you stay in business.
Yeah. Well, these are beautiful recipes, and I thank you for this.
Well, thank you.
And we can offer these to people. They're free, thanks to Roost and to Nicci Hughes here. And if you'd like them, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope. That helps us so much. And send it to the Peggy Denny Show, Post Office Box 1616, Greenville, South Carolina, 29602. And we do need the number. It's 1023, so that we'll know what it is you want. And we'll be delighted to share it with you. And you can share this with your family and friends. This is good, wholesome food that's not terribly complicated.
No, it's not. It's very easy. It's put it in a pan, put it in the oven, forget about it for an hour and a half.
And it's something that most people really enjoy.
Oh, yes. I've never had a person not be happy with it. So
Will you come back sometime?
I would love to.
Oh, we'd love to have you.
Oh, that would be a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Nicci Hughes, who is the sous chef with Roost Restaurant in downtown Greenville. Stay happy, eat wholesome foods, and we'll see you next time.